Jesus Christ walked around Jerusalem and performed miracle acts and helped the people, fed the people, clothed the people, turned water into wine. He was crucified with hate. He was crucified because the people in the higher power looked at him as a threat because he had a following. He was famous for the acts he did. He turned the weakest soldiers and turned them into leaders of the time, BC, AD. Let me tell you something. Frank Lucas, making $100 million a year, successful in the dope game, low key, nobody knew nothing. The day Frank Lucas wore that meat coat in that fight, he became famous. People started knowing he was getting money. The feds summoned to prison. Let me tell you something. John Gotti thought he was untouchable. Thought he was famous for beating the feds. He done beat them up, beat them every time they take him to trial. He beat them. Summoned to prison for the rest of his life. Big Meech was low-key getting money. Time as he started out here balling and showing out and getting money and showing you how it go, guess what happened? They gave him 30, 40 years in prison. Took down the whole organization and everything that came with it. Let me tell you something about the price of fame. The price of fame is expensive and it'll cost you your life. You have to be willing to die behind fame. A lot of people chasing fame and they ain't worrying about money. A lot of these women are seeking attention and degrading themselves because they want a couple likes. They want to be famous. They want to be known for something. But let me tell you something about fame. When you become famous, you become an object. Now people want to use you. You no longer a human. You no longer a man with a social security number. You a man with a bank account and you can help me with my bills. You can do this. Why are you being nasty? You should do that and do this. They gonna tell you everything you should do with your money. They gonna control you. And you know why you can't tell them no? They know you're famous. Fame will get you killed. Fame will have everybody who know you was working at McDonald's and you tell them your dream to own a McDonald's. At first they gonna tell you, yeah, do that. But when you start making moves to do that, they gonna remind you that you started out as a worker. They gonna remind you every day you come from the ghetto, you ain't no better than them. That's the price of fame. Fame will get you killed. And when you trying to become famous or rich or successful, you have to accept the fact that death come with that. These people will crucify you. They killed Tupac, they killed Biggie, they killed Malcolm X, they killed Martin Luther King. They kill you because you wanna be famous. They will kill you. Fame is an addiction. Fame is a drug. Fame is worse than crack, cocaine. Because once you get that high of life where you can look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am him. And ain't nobody can tell you different and you know you got money. And you go broke, that's worse than coming off crack cocaine. There's no way possible you could shake that feeling of fame. Understand this, fame will get you killed.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, and peace to you sincere brothers out there, the true house of David. And we're supposed to be strengthening our people. We're supposed to be bringing men up on a level and warning them of the things to come. When you read Paul was waking up the Gentiles and traveling throughout those certain places. And the thing was, he said he ceased not to warn our people about the wolves and about the evils that was in the ministry. He ceased not to do that. Because we have men in this truth, they're only in it for fame, likes, and views. And they're always in the fucking camera. And a lot of guys can't tell that the Most High is against these guys. They can't tell. You see what I'm saying? Just like the wicked scribes and the Pharisees, men couldn't tell that either because they were sitting on these high seats. And nobody wanted to be looked a certain way. And we're in that time today again. This is Acts chapter 20, verse 29. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also, it says, of your own selves shall men arise speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after themselves. And that's what men are in this to do. This is not about Yahushua. It's about how men feel. And the Lord actually cussed out those wicked scribes of our people that were sitting on them high seats that actually looked down on the Lord. Now these wicked scribes and these Pharisees, all they wanted was fame. That's all they wanted. They wanted the likes and the views. When you had the real in Yahushua, he was condemning their ass, and he didn't have to have the fame. He didn't come for a fucking reputation. He was cursing their ass out. You see? At the same time, he was cussing their ass out. He was healing our people. This is Acts 20 and 30, right? So you had men in those times drawing men after themselves for the fame. It wasn't about what was in the inside, because these men, they didn't have anything in the inside. When you go to Matthew 23, the Lord said, hey, they're full of dead man's bones. On the outside, they appear. And at that time, at the time when the Lord came, you had the high priests and the Pharisees and the elders in that time when the Lord came. They were all corrupted by these goddamn Pharisees that were sitting on these high seats. Acts chapter 20, verse 31. Therefore, watch and remember, by the space of 3 years, I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. So Paul warned of this thing night and day with tears. And a lot of men talk about the 144,000. Well, you might not even be at that fucking number, dude. A lot of you guys are not of the elect, man. You're not, man. A lot of you guys are not of the elect. Job 20 and 5, it says, the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. You see? So this is only a moment. You have men prospering. The wicked shall prosper, but only what? For a moment. These hypocrites, these fucking actors. Job 8 and 13. So are the paths of all that forget the Most High, and the hypocrites' hope shall perish. All these goddamn actors and these hypocrites, these pretenders, they're going to fucking perish away. Job 17 and 8. Which, when you understand that the Lord, you have to have the good and the bad. You know, the Lord sets up both of those. In this part of the story, what you must understand is the Lord set up more wicked than good, because the whole goal is to gather a lot of people, the majority of people, to destroy their ass. So the Lord did that. You had a few people, they followed the Lord, but you had everybody, they was following the fame and the clout and the glory of the scribes and the Pharisees. Just like in this time, you have the majority of people, they're going to draw to the crowd and the wide gate of destruction, as the scriptures say. And these men were going to be all about the fame, the glory, how they fucking look. You got a bunch of fucking clowns out there in these last days. And that's why the Lord set up certain men to warn about things. Because if you don't think those wicked scribes and those wicked ass Pharisees are back in this time of Esau, a lot of guys have made deals with Esau. A lot of guys are sitting up on them high seats, and they know deep inside that they do not have it, and they know that they're wicked, but their whole thing is to stir men the wrong fucking way by telling them sweet things all the fucking time. And when somebody sits up and they just telling you sweet shit, and they really they're putting this fucking act on, that's what Paul and that's what the Lord, they were against that. Yahushua were against that, all that acting shit, these hypocrites. The Lord said many false prophets in these times. And you wonder why these guys don't go into certain things, because they are those fucking wicked scribes. A lot of guys that exalt themselves and put themselves on pedestals. Now, nobody ain't gonna say shit, because the rest of these guys are in the same fucking mind frame as these fucking losers. They always gotta be seen to men, put their fucking face in the camera. And the thing is, the Lord, he didn't come in that spirit these guys are coming in. That's what we're trying to get you few brothers to understand. The Lord, he didn't never come in the spirit how these guys are. They just want to be seen. You see? Let me read this scripture. Job 17:8. Upright men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir himself against the hypocrite. Right, the ones that's innocent on the low. And you got a bunch of these fucking hypocrites. So I'm gonna look up this word, hypocrite. That word hypocrite.
Strong's H 2611. Chanef.
It says godless, hypocritical, profane, hypocrite, irregulars, godless, profane. You see? Yeah, upright men are stirring themselves up. What's that word, stir? Because we see that a lot of you men out there, right? You might see where wickedness is, but because due to respect of persons or how everybody's looked. See, that's the thing, man. You have this spirit out there where guys they don't want to say anything because guys are on these high seats. Well, that's not the spirit of Yahweh Shai. That's why a lot of guys are not in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. They're not, man. You got a lot of guys teaching his word, but they're not in the spirit of the Lord. See, everybody's teaching this word right now. But who's in the spirit of the Lord? You got a lot of fucking guys that say they're teaching the Lord's word, but they're scared to say things about guys who that's sitting up, putting themselves out there being wicked, man. You see? And the Lord remembers all that shit, bro. The Lord remembers that shit, man. You got these guys sitting up, and they're phony, man. The spirit of the Lord ain't with guys, man. That word stir.
Strong's H 5782.
Right.
Lord.
It says that word stir up, to rouse oneself, awaken, incite, to rouse oneself, to awake, to be roused, to stir up, rouse, incite, to be excited, to rouse up, to act, arouse, stir up, wake, raised up, arise. So we're stirring ourselves up against, and we're inciting ourselves against all these fucking actors and these fucking hypocrites and all these Matthew 23s that are out there. You have a lot of Matthew 23s out there and the Luke 11s. Luke 11s and Matthew 23, they dominate this truth. That's why the majority of people that listen to these people, they're going to be destroyed. That's why the Lord said 2/3 got to be cut off, because you have to have 2/3 in high places gathering people to death. You see what I'm saying? So these guys, they like to be seen as fucking men. They don't have what it takes. The Lord said, don't take the high seats. But these men are going to love those high seats in the synagogues. You see what I'm saying? Matthew 23:27. Woe to you, scribes, hypocrites, for ye are like whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bone and uncleanliness. The Lord said, woe to you fucking guys, man. I'm gonna jump up real quick. Matthew 23:24. Ye blind guides which strain at a net and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but within are full of excess, are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Right, a lot of you guys are focused on how you looked. That's why the Lord said everything you do is fucking to be seen of men. And all these fucking hypocrites and these men is posing as men of the Lord are going to be destroyed, man. This is Proverbs 11:9. It says, a hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor. And what do you have guys do? They try to destroy the righteous. They try to bring dirt on the righteous. It's like they tried to do with the Lord. When you go to John the 20th chapter, they told the people, hey, why y'all listen to this guy? Because the Lord came with the right things for the people to hear, but you had the wicked scribes. All they was worried about was how they fucking looked. They didn't give a fuck about the people. They didn't care about the spirit. They was sitting on high. And just like my man Nino Brown said, man, that fame is a worser addiction than crack. When you're put up on that pedestal, and you can see it in guys, you can see like that fame and that respect of persons and that clout and everybody bigging guys up. It has really taken guys' mind over to where the Holy Spirit ain't there, and they have this image that they have to hold up. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not teaching like the Lord anymore. They're always trying to stay on the good side. They're not really saying nothing, man. Guys ain't really going into shit like that. You got to understand that fame is more addictive than crack. And once you put up on that pedestal, that's no return, except a big-ass fall. Proverbs 11:9. And hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Right. So when you follow these hypocrites, you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed. See, that's why a lot of men, you have to have the eyes to fucking see. And we're telling you, we've been warning guys. We've been warning guys. So when the jig goes down up on these guys, and when the jig comes down, we're gonna be like, hey, we already been speaking on it. And a lot of you guys that ain't gonna be able to believe it. You ain't gonna believe it. But it's gonna happen. All the hypocrites are gonna be wiped out, man. And we're coming up on that time. See, men are such on a high horse that when you're up on that high horse and you're a wicked scribe and you're a Pharisee, you cannot bring yourself down off that high horse. You're actually stuck on that fucking high horse. And the thing about it is that fame, you be drunken with fame. Just like when you read in Revelations, the nations were drunken off the wine and the fornication. Well, men are drunken off of the fame. And that shit is going to bring a lot of men to destruction that follows behind their ass. Proverbs 11:9, it says, "An hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through the knowledge shall the just be delivered." Right, through the knowledge. Through the true knowledge. And the key to this truth is being sincere. A lot of men are sincerely fucking wicked teaching this thing. And they're real good at being wicked. See, that's the thing about the wicked scribes and the Pharisees. Their whole image was just trying to look good. Verse 10, it says, "When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoices. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting." That's right. So when these wicked fucking pieces of shit out there, when they perish, we are going to jump for joy, man. And we see it. We see these guys are high off of fame. Many guys out there are high off of fame, man. They're high off the prestige. They're high off of it, man. You see? And that's what these goddamn clowns did. They're wicked, man. See, these guys were always tempting the Lord. Matthew 22:16, "And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teachest the way of the Most High power. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the persons of them." Right, so these wicked guys, they knew that the Lord was the true power and was the strength. You see what I'm saying? They knew certain men, the Lord was with them, and they knew the Lord was with them, but they were just wicked. So they was trying to catch him up on his word. So you have to understand that that's what's going on. Like the wicked scribes and the Pharisees, they knew that the Lord was actually with them. And they knew the Lord came and they knew that the power was with them. But they were so high off of fame and they were so high off of clout that their whole thing was trying to destroy this man. You see what I'm saying? See, you could be so high off of fame and recognize and know that the Lord is actually dealing with particular men, but because you're so high up in fame and clout and how you look, you're not going to humble down to those men and hear what they got to say till your ass be destroyed. And we're in a time when the Lord is going to destroy a lot of fucking guys, man. It says, and they sent, and verse 17, tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? It is lawful to give tribute to Caesar or not? Then Yahushua perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? So the Lord, he perceived their wickedness. Just like we can perceive the wickedness of these fucking guys, man. We can actually fucking see. While the rest of you guys are oohed and awed by views and likes and how men get bigged up, it's all in the preparation for that big ass fall that's gonna come. I want to go into that word perceived. Because if you can't fucking see in these times, you're going to let these guys lead you to destruction, man. And you can see the pride in these fucking guys, man. And nobody ain't going to say a damn thing because you have this wicked ass respected persons out there. Guys do wicked ass shit. And because they're highly esteemed, nobody says nothing because they don't want to say anything and be looked at a certain way. Everybody cares about how they fucking look, man. And then they're not worried about how the Lord's looking at you. See, the Lord is looking at those men that's actually willing to go in and put everything on the line and bring out things guys are not willing to bring out. Those are the ones the Lord is looking at, going that extra mile. Not sitting around just taking shit because everybody else looks at it a certain way. Now that word perceive, because the Lord perceived their wickedness. Like we can see too.
Strong's G 1097. Gnosko.
Right, that word perceive, it says to learn, to know, come to know, to get to know, perceive, feel, to become known, to know, to understand, perceive, to have knowledge of, to understand, to know. So we know, man. We know and we perceive, we understand. You see what I'm saying? So we know. Just like the Lord, he perceived their wickedness. He said, why you tempt me, ye hypocrites? So you have a lot of hypocrites in high places that's in this thing for fame. But the scriptures tell you the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. And the destruction of them is going to be a wide scale. So that's what you got to understand. You got to understand what's actually going on, man. You have to ask the Lord for guidance to open your eyes, man. You see? Paul said that he sees to not warn these fucking wolves day and night, man. Matthew 24 and 23. We're in these times. It says, then if there any man shall say unto you, lo, here is the anointed, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show signs and wonders, and so much, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Right. So we have a lot of wicked men out there, man. You see? Matthew 23 and 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye set up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourself, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Right? Because when these guys, they make their scoff videos and they tell guys, hey, don't hear ye him. They shut up the kingdom of heaven because they put this image out there of like, don't listen to them, like the scribes and the Pharisees. And meanwhile, they're leading people to a goddamn off a cliff because the blind lead the blind. And the thing is, they shut up the kingdom of heaven because they can't fucking go in, so they tell other men don't listen to them too. Right, that's why a lot of men, Sirach 32:15, he that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended therewith. Right, so a lot of men are offended by how we teach. And that's the thing. That's what this truth is for. You're supposed to use this thing to cut the rocks into pieces. To cut up all that fucking respect the persons out there. To cut up all that fucking that pride and all of that false way. And men sitting on these high seats and they're drunken off of fame. Many hypocrites drunken off of fame and clout to their own fucking destruction, man. This is my last one, man, I'm gonna get. This is Sirach 33:2. A wise man hateth not the law. Right, because the law is against puffing yourself up, putting yourself on a pedestal. The Lord said take the low. So we don't hate that. We stay low. And we love nobody recognizing us, because that's prophecy. But he that is an hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm. And everybody that's on that ship with you goddamn hypocrites, they're gonna fall with your ass. Because the pride of your heart have deceived you. You see? See, these hypocrites, they was sitting on these high seats, but they couldn't fucking see. Let me grab this one. Luke 12:56. Ye hypocrites, you can't discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Right, you don't discern that in this time that the Lord is actually dealing with me and you actually hate. You fucking clowns out there. Death to the wicked, man. And it'll be on to the next one. Hey, shalom.